Hello, I'm here to tell you all about the December issue of the Mover magazine. Now, those very observant ones amongst you will notice that I haven't got a magazine in front of me, and the reason for that is very simple, and that is that because we've realised that most of you now read the magazine online rather than in the hard copy, it makes sense to put out this little video and the email that goes within our little newsletter at the time that the electronic version is first available, and so that's now. And if you go on to the website or you have a look by the way that you normally read the magazine, then you'll find that the new one is there. If you haven't, by the way, already got the new app that we've developed, then please do. It's available for Android and for Apple phones, so you can get it on any device. And it makes life really easy. You've also got all the back issues on there as well, and there are lots of good features on it. You can click on the stories to make them stand out from the page so they're nice and easy to read even on a small device. You can highlight stories, you can share them with people, and of course all the links, particularly on the advertisements and in the stories, to other websites, to the advertisers' websites, for example, are all live links. And so you can click straight through onto them, and for the advertisers it's just like having your entire website really as part of your advertisement. So we're really pleased with that. It's a really good system, and the people that have seen it so far are very impressed. So please, if you haven't already got the app, then please go along and download it. Anyway, this month, the December issue, I make no apologies for the fact that it's dominated rather by the United States, and that's of course because we recently had the IAM and PIEMA conferences in Washington DC, and I wanted to bring as much of the information from there as quickly as possible for you to have a look at. There's an interview with Charles White, which Charles took over from Terry Head, and many of you will know Terry, of course, because he's been running IAM for about 1,000 years, and but maybe you don't know Charles so much. He's been working with Terry for many years now, but he's now taken over that role as president, and so I wanted to do an interview with him to give you the chance to get to know him better. So he's in there. There also, of course, there's Terry's report, which was the last report that Terry will be doing on the sort of state of IAM, as it were. He's done his last one of those, so that's fully reported. But you know, there's also, those of you that go to IAM will know that the whole event is rather dominated by one-to-one meetings and side meetings, and the plenary meetings that people put an awful lot of effort into are not particularly well attended, not by comparison to the number of people that are there. I went to some of them, for example, where there were maybe only 50 or 100 people there, which is not particularly good when you consider there are 2,500 at the event. Now, there's nothing that I can do to fill up those meeting rooms, of course, apart from to encourage you to go. But what I can do is, having been myself, I can report on the stories and tell you what was said, which I hope will be helpful. Now, there's quite a few of them there that were, I thought, particularly good. There's the new IAM Learning initiative that is from IAM, and that is really a learning opportunity, an educational opportunity for everybody in the business, right from new starters up to management. And it's an evolving thing, and just go and have a look and read the story and have a look at it and find out what is there for you. I'm sure you find there's a lot. The professional cooperation guidelines, there's a story about that. Now, that has come from FIDI, that's a FIDI initiative, but IAM have adopted this, and it's really a blueprint. It's a way of companies using best practice to work together when they're dealing on the agent-to-agent principle. Very interesting that they've done it. Very interesting in particular that both IAM and FIDI have come together on this. They've not sort of retained it for their own use to get some kind of commercial advantage. They've realised that this is something that is of use to the whole industry, and so they're working together on it, which I think is great. On the same guidelines, there is the new ISO standard for digital inventories. Now that sounds a little bit dry at first sight, but again, this is something that has been done by cooperation. The ISO standard now exists for this, and I was trying to encourage companies, moving companies, to go to their suppliers of IT system software and get them to use that standard. Because if you think about it, if everybody did use that same standard, if everybody was using the same system to create inventories, it would mean that those inventories could be shared anywhere in the world, in any language, and they could easily be understood. There's very little chance of it being misunderstood, and of course not least by the insurance companies, who have to negotiate claims, and if they can't always understand the inventory, or if the inventory isn't clear, that makes it very difficult for them. And so by having that ISO standard, it really makes a big difference. I urge you to read that story and have a look at it, and contact your IT provider and find out if they're using that ISO standard, and if they're not, encourage them to do so. There's lots of things in the magazine, of course, always is, but there are just a few of the things that I thought you might particularly find interesting. By the way, I was talking to somebody the other day, and we happened to mention Omni, and they said that they didn't know what Omni was. Now, I understand why people wouldn't necessarily, but this particular person was quite a major name in the industry, and I was a bit surprised. And so in the January issue, we're going to be doing a feature interview with Omni to explain what it is and why you might be interested, and what the organisation does and what it stands for, and the ways in which it helps its members, just to throw a bit of light on it. Anyway, that's all for now. I hope you enjoy reading the magazine, and Merry Christmas. See you soon.